This is the natural selection and adaptations test. Number 1, you are reading a magazine article about the Galapagos Islands and come across an image about Darwin's work there. You know that the Galapagos finches are closely associated with Darwin's work on natural selection and evolution. Which feature of the Galapagos finches visible in the image below impressed Darwin? 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see the pictures of the birds. Letter A, certain species of Galapagos finches had unusual reproductive behaviors. B, each species of finch had a distinct beak that was well suited to the finch's diet. C, some Galapagos finches changed during their lifetimes to become better suited to the living environments. D, Galapagos finches were able to survive despite the many different kinds of predators that live on the islands. Number 2, what was Darwin's designated role on the Beagle? A, documenting the journey as the ship's journalist. B, studying animals and plants as the ship's naturalist. C, providing food for the crew as the ship's cook. D, taking care of the passengers as the ship's surgeon. Number 3, what argument did geologist Charles Lyell make that would later become important to Darwin's work in South America? A, the Earth's age was impossible to calculate. B, some of Earth's features resulted from gradual processes over long time periods. C, Earth's features were created within a short period of time and have not yet changed. D, land formations in South America cannot be found elsewhere in the world. Number 4, what questions regarding the traits of Galapagos finches did Darwin consider for many years? A, how had an original finch been modified in different ways for different purposes? B, why were these finch species only found in certain parts of the world? C, why couldn't finches with narrow beaks consume a diet of seeds in addition to insects? D, how did this great variety of finch species survive in the same ecosystem? Number 5, Darwin used the Galapagos finches as evidence that A, traits are not hereditary. B, living things change over time. C, birds are different than other species. D, organisms in a species have no relation to one another. Number 6, according to Darwin, blank in species could result from many blank over long periods of time. A, population growth, births. B, mating, interactions. C, big changes, small changes. D, extinction, deaths. Number 7, eventually, Darwin realized that all living things were engaged in a blank because there were not enough resources for all of them. A, genetic ritual. B, fight to the death. C, temporary competition. D, struggle for existence. Number 8, what led Darwin to his idea of natural selection? A, individuals had certain traits that made them more successful. B, the Galapagos finches had a unique method of adaptation. C, ecosystems with limited resources fostered great biodiversity. D, all of the above. Number 9, a group of individuals of the same species that live and reproduce in the same place is called blank. A, community. B, population. C, organization. D, civilization. Number 10, individuals in a population are not all blank. A, compatible. B, identical. C, the same species. D, living in one ecosystem. Number 11, organisms must blank in order for traits to be passed to the next generation. A, communicate. B, die. C, migrate. D, reproduce. Number 12, in addition to traits that improve survival, what type of traits does natural selection favor? A, those that help organisms attract mates. B, those that help organisms reproduce successfully. C, both A and B. D, neither A or B. Number 13, what does genetic variation describe? A, similarities in the inherited traits of different individuals. B, similarities between species in an ecosystem. C, differences in the inherited traits of different individuals. D, differences between various species mating preferences. Number 14, when individuals with certain inherited traits are more likely to survive and reproduce than those with less favorable traits, blank occurs. A, genetic selection. B, natural selection. C, favored survival. D, struggle for existence. Number 15, how did the Industrial Revolution in England affect the habitat of a population of peppered moths? A, toxic runoffs from factories flooded the moth's habitat, affecting many species. B, coal burning released soot in the air, killing the light-colored lichens on the trees. C, humans cut down more trees for use in logging operations, destroying moth's habitat. D, the Industrial Revolution had little to no impact on peppered moth's habitat. Number 16, in what way did the peppered moth population respond to this environmental impact caused by the Industrial Revolution? A, the moths could no longer survive in the ecosystem, so the population died out. B, the moths lost the ability to camouflage entirely, so they evolved other adaptations. C, the proportion of the light moths increased and the proportion of the dark moths decreased. D, the proportion of dark moths increased and the proportion of light moths decreased. Number 17, which statement about adaptations is true? A, they are inherited. B, they are developed quickly. C, they cannot change over time. D, they are the same in every species. Number 18, how did English scientist Dr. Kettlewell test the predatory bird explanation for the evolution of peppered moths? A, he released marked moths and later recaptured their survivors. B, he monitored the sizes of the bird and moth populations for a generation. C, he tracked birds in the moth's habitat to observe if the birds were eating the moths. D, he removed birds from the moth's habitat to see if their absence would affect the moth population. Number 19, Kettlewell's experiments showed that in both unpolluted and polluted habitats, camouflage moths had about twice the blank of surviving than non-camouflaged ones. A, determination. B, experience. C, luck. D, probability. Number 20, one day while visiting a park you come across a large number of beetles. Some of the beetles are green and some of the beetles are yellow. You notice that the green beetles blend in with their leafy environment. However, the yellow beetles stand out as you see in the photo below. You conclude that green beetles are better camouflaged than yellow ones from predators. How do you predict beetle color in this population will evolve over time? A, yellow beetles have a greater chance of surviving and reproducing and will become more common in the population. B, green beetles have a greater chance of surviving and reproducing and will become more common in the population. C, yellow beetles have a smaller chance of surviving and reproducing and will become more common in the population. D, neither type of beetle will become more common in the population because they have the same chance of surviving and reproducing. Number 21, you are studying a population of fish. You notice that some of the males are plain silver, while other males have bright colors. One of the bright males is shown in the photo below. You discover that females prefer to mate with bright males. As a result, bright males have an average of 3.5 offspring each. Dull-colored males left an average of 2 offspring each. How do you predict this fish population will evolve? A, the population will not evolve. B, dull males will become more common in the population. C, bright males will become more common in the population. D, dull and bright males will become equally common in the population. Number 22, you are studying a population of fish in which individuals come in two different colors. Some fish are silver and others are gold. You wonder if predators are more likely to eat one type of fish. You decide to follow the fish population over several months. During this time, you observe that 15% of silver fish are eaten by predators, while 23% of goldfish are eaten by predators. How do you predict that this fish population will evolve? A, the population will not evolve. B, goldfish will become more common in the population. C, silverfish will become more common in the population. D, silver and goldfish will become equally common in the population. Number 23, an explanation or model based on observation and evidence that is used to explain a natural phenomenon is called what? A, variety, B, conclusion, C, theory, D, hypothesis. Number 24, when an animal blends in or disguises itself in its surroundings, it is using the adaptation of blank. A, evolution, B, mimicry, C, variety, D, camouflage. Number 25, when an organism, like the walking stick insect pictured, resembles another species in behavior, look, smell, or sound, it is called what? A, evolution, B, mimicry, C, variety, D, camouflage. Use the investigation and data described below to answer questions 26 through 28. For many years, a group of scientists studied medium ground finches on Daphne Major, one of the Galapagos Islands. They followed the medium ground finch population through a major drought in 1977, in which many birds died. During the drought, scientists observed that there were fewer seeds available for the birds to eat. In addition, the seeds that were available were mostly large ones. The scientists noticed that not all birds were able to crack open the larger seeds. Data collected by the scientists on finch beaks before and after the drought are shown in the table below. Beak thickness is an inherited trait that shows genetic variation in this population. In the year 1976, which was before the drought, the minimum beak thickness was 7.3, 10.8, and 8.8 millimeters. After the drought in 1978, the minimum beak thickness was 7.8, maximum 10.8, and the average beak thickness 9.8. Number 26, which statement best describes how the medium ground finch population evolved from 1976 to 1978? A, minimum beak thickness decreased between 1976 and 1978. B, average beak thickness decreased between 1976 and 1978. C, average beak thickness increased between 1976 and 1978. D, maximum beak thickness increased between 1976 and 1978. Number 27, which statement provides the best explanation for how the medium ground finch population evolved between 1976 and 1978? A, finches with thinner beaks were better able to avoid predators and survived and reproduced better than finches with thicker beaks. B, finches with thicker beaks were better able to avoid predators and survived and reproduced better than finches with thinner beaks. C, finches with thinner beaks were able to crack the larger seeds and survived and reproduced better than finches with thicker beaks. D, finches with thicker beaks were able to crack the larger seeds and survived and reproduced better than finches with thinner beaks. Number 28, suppose that the drought clears up and conditions return to normal. How would you predict the average beak thickness in the population will change over time? A, average beak thickness will remain close to 9.8 millimeters. B, average beak thickness will increase to a value greater than 9.8 millimeters. C, average beak thickness will decrease to a value closer to 8.8 millimeters. D, average beak thickness will decrease to a value smaller than 7.3 millimeters.